one guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Amp2.tv presents You and Your Doctor, teaching you to live a longer and healthier life. Proudly sponsored by All County Healthcare, where people are the heart of our business. All County Healthcare is a Medicare certified agency where one call will service all your home care health needs. For more information, call 954-717-7027 or visit our website, allcountyhealthcare.com. Now, let's get informed to living a longer and healthier life. Here is your host for today's show.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome to You and Your Doctor, sponsored by All County Healthcare. All County Healthcare is a Medicare certified home health care agency operating in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County. We've got a great show lined up for you today. You can reach All County at 954-717-7027 or info@allcountyhealthcare.com. I am your host, Dawn Graubert. I'm excited because we have Clayton Williams. He is the Director of Business Development with All County, joining us this evening. All County Healthcare is a trusted home health agency providing compassionate, high-quality medical care to patients in the comfort of their own homes. Serving families throughout South Florida, their mission is rooted in dignity, independence, and personalized healing. Their licensed team includes skilled nurses, therapists, and certified home health aides who work closely with physicians to ensure seamless, coordinated care. Services include skilled nursing, post-surgical care, wound care, medication management, chronic disease monitoring, rehabilitation therapies, and personal care assistance with daily living activities. All County Healthcare partners with hospitals, discharge planners, and caregivers to support smooth transitions from hospital to home, offering customized care plans and ongoing communication every step of the way. They proudly accept Medicare and many private insurance plans, helping make quality home health care accessible and affordable. Driven by compassion and clinical excellence, All County Healthcare remains a vital community partner, improving quality of life and delivering care where it matters most, at home. Again, their number toll-free is 888-717-7170 or email them at info@allcountyhealthcare.com. All right, Clayton, you're going to make my job easy tonight. We have Clayton Williams joining us. Like I said, he is the Director of Business Development of All County. Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be with you, Dawn.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
It's a mouthful, right? I feel like we kind of encapsulated everything that All County does.
I was going to say your intro is brilliant.
But yet, how do you manage all of it?
It's a big organization, and it's a tough operation because we're dealing with patients' lives and we're dealing with doctors' patients. We see ourselves as an extension of their practice. So it's the 360 approach. We're making everyone happy. We have the Medicare line of business. And with Medicare, you know, we're getting patients where we're servicing their skilled nursing needs. And we have every discipline of therapy. All County is a little bit different where we offer respiratory therapy as most agencies don't. And then that last piece I was going to mention was the private care. So that's where we get patients that perhaps want a live-in aid or they build us a schedule and we provide them an aid around the clock for whatever they.
All right, so I want to back up. How do you see yourself as the direct conduit from the doctor's office?
Well, we have a team that works out in the field, and so the team is assigned to their respective territories, and they have doctors in the territories where they go, and they really are following up with them weekly, learning the needs of the practice, and then, like I say, being an extension of the practice while they deal with the doctor's patients.
All right, so what type of practices? Orthopedics, okay, right?
Orthopedics are huge for us.
A hip, post-surgical care.
Yeah, it's a lot of our referrals are from post-surgery, you know, orthopedics, knees, shoulders, and so what we're providing is the physical therapy and then some occupational therapy on some of those cases. And it's not limited to orthopedics.
That would be short-term care.
That would be short-term care. They would come.
Cardiac as well, because I know my mom, you guys took care of my mom. after she had her bypass, and everyone was fantastic.
Yes. That is the #1 readmission rate to the hospital, are those patients with the CHF, the chronic heart failure.
So readmission, I know this is going to get complicated, but not so much. You have the procedure, chronic heart failure, you have your stents, or you have your bypass, you go home with care.
You go home with care, and you get a nurse that
Now,
monitors.
if you don't go home with care, that's why you're talking about readmission.
Correct. Well, yes, and it speaks to the strength of the agency. We're all graded on our readmission rate, and it's something that hospitals are always looking at in a meaningful way as they select the agencies that they're referring to.
So what does that mean for people that don't understand?
I would say if you or a family member are experiencing those moments of uncertainty where you're going to need this service that we offer, you just take a quick moment for yourself to look and see what the agency's readmission rates are. They're all public, and we go by a star rating.
All right, so readmission, you want to have an agency that there's a lower readmission rate, which means then you're not going back to the hospital because you're getting the better care at home.
Correct. We're keeping you out of the hospital, which is always the goal.
And what type of services, so post-cardiac, you come home, what type of services are you offering?
Well, what we're really looking there is we're monitoring vitals regularly. We're looking at a weight gain for the patient, and we're looking to monitor their medications. And we're giving all this feedback to the cardiologist or primary care in real time.
Okay, so that would go to nursing care. Is that considered skilled nursing?
That is considered skilled nursing, yes, ma'am.
So you're looking at the vitals, you're looking at weight. Now, what about the therapy? Say they've been in bed too long, or they weren't very mobile to start with. That does not, those are your, go into the ADL side of it?
Yes, that's a separate discipline, and so the doctor would have to give us an order for that separately, but it's all provided under one roof. Like, we would send out the nurse that would follow the patient, and then we're also going to provide them with a therapist of any discipline that the doctor orders.
Okay, so your patient comes home, they're getting their vitals monitored, they're getting their weight managed, they're getting their medications managed by a nurse, not by a home health aide, right? Because we need the nursing to oversee the medication administration. And then say, all right, mom or dad, they need help walking, they need help feeding, they need help toileting. Mm-hmm. You guys can take care of all of that with your different therapists coming in.
Sure, we do. And like you alluded to, the therapists are handling the therapy portion of the order, and then all of those things that require skill, yes, are from a registered nurse, and in some cases an LPN. So those things wouldn't be done so much by a home health aide, but those are there for more bathing visits, and then sometimes the patients elect to have those aides come back to their home and they pay cash or through the long-term insurance policy. And that's anything from helping out, perhaps just ambulating through the home if the person's a fall risk, light housekeeping, bath visits, basically anything the patient wants.
Medicare, if you're a Medicare or a Medicare type plan, mm-hmm. Do you take Advantage plans as well?
We are starting to take Advantage plans. So we're slowly dipping our toe into the Medicare Advantage plans, whereas historically all county's been a straight traditional Medicare practice. The industry is just evolving.
Medicare, so they will cover, if you're of the Medicare age, all of these services based on your plan. Not right, we can't guarantee, but based on your plan and their allowables,
yes.
There's a certain amount of days you get coverage?
Yes. So it's a good point you bring up. For anyone listening, I would say you think about yourself, and if you have traditional Medicare with no Advantage plan, like no HMO, you're going to get whatever the doctor orders. The slight difference here is if you're on, say, a Humana, Aetna, Blue Cross, those sorts of plans, we have to request prior authorization. So with that authorization, we're going to know how many visits that we can give you and to the extent that we can treat.
So you come home with, but a lot of this can be done in the hospital, correct? So while you're waiting for discharge, we can hopefully get pre-auth, because you don't want mom or dad going home with nothing.
That is correct. So that is that speaks to how efficient the hospital discharge planning is. Sometimes we get a call and they say, hey, the patient's leaving this afternoon, can you accept? Or, you know, we have people that are very proactive and we get the call about 48 hours in advance, which is ideal for us. We work with everyone, so our goal is to make the patients happy and to be very easy with our community partners. We want to be very easy to work with. We know everyone's situation is different. Hospital's a fast-moving place with a lot of moving parts.
You take long-term care, Medicare, private pay, people that don't have it, right? Some people might be cash. What if they're not Medicare? What, of Medicare age, I should say.
Yeah, so if they're not of Medicare age, that gets a little tricky because the condition has to be very severe for their like PPO, private plan to provide a home care service. It has to be where they meet we call a homebound status. So the doctor deems that it's really not safe for them to leave, and that's very rare with the younger population. Like I say, the case has to be very severe.
Some of these are short-term, the things we talked about, post-surgical, hips, knees, cardiac care, should be acute, right? Should be short-term.
Sure.
Do you provide long-term care?
Yes.
Long-term aids, I know you're not the insurance side of it.
Yeah, so even on our skilled side, we can have a patient, say, with a chronic wound or wounds that it's unfortunate, but sometimes these wounds don't heal very fast. So we can have that patient on service with us for a very long time. We also have specialty services like psych nursing and social workers that we will send out to the home. And this is all covered by Medicare as well. Those tend to be longer cases. Sometimes those patients are on with you until the end of life.
Who coordinates? Because this is a tremendous amount of coordination, because you can have a family member that needs therapies, the PT, the OT, right? Then that might change some of the mindset. So you're looking at psych nursing, you're looking at maybe a dementia case that they're not really able to stay home and take care of themselves. It's too much on the spouse as a caregiver. So you can send somebody in to cover or a few people to cover all of this. Who is coordinating all of these different doctors and all of these different visits?
Yeah, so that is our team inside, and they stay very busy.
Yeah.
What the intake department will do, they will get the order, and they will review the order, and then we assign our unique caregivers depending on the region, the discipline that you need, and the specialty, you know, speaking to the service that your doctor has ordered, whether it's psych, whether it's a dedicated therapist for your particular condition, and we manage that in-home.
It's a lot of managing.
It's a lot of managing. We manage that in-house, and you know, we work with a bunch of doctors, so we get to know our doctors and we get to know their needs and their patient population. And with that, you know, we've got a lot of experience, but the reason that we get those referrals are because, you know, we've managed that well in the past. So we're constantly learning, constantly evolving, updating our operation, but yeah, it's good to have these community partners because, like I say, we're an extension of the doctor's practice.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, more with Clayton Williams, Director of Business Development at All County Healthcare. Again, you can reach them directly at 954-717-7027 or info@allcountyhealthcare.com. Check out their website, but stay tuned because we'll be right back.
All County Healthcare has exciting news for any and all patients with COPD or other respiratory ailments. Listen to what renowned pulmonologist Dr. Keith Robinson has to say.
Hello, I'm Dr. Keith Robinson, board-certified pulmonologist, medical director at Fusion Health Pulmonary Rehabilitation, and a board member with the American Lung Association of South Florida. We have exciting news for patients with COPD. We now offer IPV therapy at home, which has been demonstrated to improve airway clearance, decrease hospitalization, and improve quality of life of patients with COPD. Please call All County Healthcare for more information about this FDA-approved therapy.
For further information, call All County Healthcare now at 954-717-7027. That is 954-717-7027. Or visit our website at allcountyhealthcare.com. You can also find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Remember, All County Healthcare always puts the patient's needs first. You are listening to You and Your Doctor, Living Longer and Healthier, an informative show that helps you find answers to questions you always wanted to ask but did not have that somebody that could make a difference in your life. Call into the show if you have a question at 888-565-1470, and we will put you on the air to inform all our listeners. Now, back to our show.
And welcome back to All County Healthcare. I am Dawn Graubert, your host. We're here this evening with Clayton Williams, who is the Director of Business Development for All County Healthcare. Usually we have doctors on, different physicians, people from the medical community talking about their specialty. But tonight we have a treat because we actually get to hear it directly from All County themselves on really their ideal patient and how they can help with their community partners.
Well said.
All right, I want to make sure we get this in. What makes All County Healthcare stand out from all the other home health care agencies?
It's a very good question. And it's one of the reasons why we started this show. It's because a lot of our job is educating the community. And what we realized was there was a huge need, like an underserved population that we care for. And I alluded earlier to the readmission rates to the hospital. It's kind of like how you grade your home health agencies. It's one of the biggest metrics that we're trying to maintain good scores with. And the second highest readmission rate to the hospital is COPD. Which is chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder. That's an umbrella disorder, so many things fall underneath that, like adult asthma, emphysema, chronic bronchitis. And so it's very common. Like I say, it's the second highest readmission reason for a patient to return to the hospital. And we created a program. We were really the pioneers of this program at All County. The reason for that is, I couldn't tell you why, but the one therapy discipline that Medicare does not cover is respiratory therapy. So we saw that need, and from first principles, we just created a solution to that problem. And that solution is how could we have a respiratory therapist on our team that trains our nurses on a set of medical devices that we have purchased and invested in for our patients, so that we can get better outcomes. Those outcomes translate directly to our score and our reputation within the community. So the one therapy that we use that we really see a lot of quick results, and honestly the patients love it, and it's why it's earned our reputation in the community. It's from all those residual clients and word of mouth and doctors learning about us as opposed to us boots on the ground marketing. And that's the interpulmonary percussive ventilation. And so it's a medical device. It looks very similar to a breathing machine for patients who get breathing treatments. And it sends a percussive pulse of air down into the lungs without getting too technical or clinical for our audience. It's essentially breaking up the mucus, anything that's causing that obstruction. It allows the patient to take a nice deep cough, and they get out all that mucus, everything that would be obstructing them from a deeper breath. So
you would even think patients with spinal cord injuries.
We have seen all these edge cases.
All of these that are causing the respiratory problems.
Yeah, ALS is another one. So
Sure.
some autoimmune disorders where patients have respiratory depression, we see and we treat those patients as well.
Because you think it can encompass so many things. It's not just if you are a smoker or emphysema or mesothelioma. There are chronic physical ailments that really obstruct breathing. I'm wondering even like sleep apnea and things like that.
Sleep apnea, that's a comorbidity usually, but even burn patients. So we've seen some very unique patients that have really benefited from this service.
So these patients, because it's such a niche calling, it's not necessarily post-op. Now you're going right directly to your pulmonologist, your primary care physicians that are overseeing them. This is the relationship, and they go, listen, I know All County has this great program. it can go right through this continuum of care from the physician's office to you guys without having to go through a hospital setting.
That's exactly right. And oftentimes we're getting these referrals, and perhaps say the doctor or the case manager at the hospital aren't aware of this service. We're educating them in real time and saying, hey, we have a specialty service. If you just modify the order slightly, I can get the patient a nurse that will bring out this medical device, and it is something that they really enjoy, that they're really happy.
Who's paying for this if Medicare is not?
Yeah, so we have worked it into the skilled care. So just the quick way that works is our reimbursement is a fixed reimbursement. It's billed, it's one of the last few services that's 100% covered by Medicare. And like I say, so Medicare is not paying for the respiratory therapist, but they do pay for the nurse. So we have an in-house respiratory therapist, Ed Salazar. He's been on this show in the past. He's instrumental even for the commercial that the audience might hear through the break. That is our specialty. That's really how we separate ourselves from the pack. And just the long and the short there is that Ed is monitoring those cases. He's got an eagle's eye on them from the respiratory therapy perspective, and then the nurses are treating and documenting, and it goes through our chain of command where the director of nursing is involved, and we're managing, and we give this feedback to the doctor in real time, so it's a collaboratory effort.
That's huge. And I also want to touch on the fact that you're treating patients at home. Why do you think that is so important to keep them accustomed to aging in place or whatever their needs might be?
Yeah, it's a big deal. Everyone's situation is different. So sometimes home for the patient could be an assisted living facility or other settings. Sometimes they need a lot of help, and sometimes they're on and off service very quickly, like say post-surgery. But what we find is that if a patient meets that criteria for homebound status, it is much safer and much less costly to the Medicare system that they get treated in home. You just imagine if a patient had to come to an outpatient setting at a hospital, and say for whatever reason there was more things that could be done for that patient in the outpatient setting, whereas we're kind of like a full stack solution. They might say, by law, we have to recommend that this patient go to the ER, admit them to the hospital. We're really trying to prevent that. So several episodes with us, 60 days or more, is less that the Medicare will spend on this patient than them just staying 3 nights in the hospital, just to be in observation status.
Will you go to a facility and provide care, or will you only go to somebody's home? Like you mentioned, independent living or skilled nursing in a facility, right? Maybe they can't go home because there's no one to take care of them at home.
Sure. Independent and assisted, absolutely. So a part of the ecosystem is if they don't go to home care, a home care agency like All County, the other alternative is a skilled nursing facility. So that usually is the continuum there. So if a patient gets admitted to the hospital, the doctor and the family are usually weighing out the option and what's best for their family member, whether they go spend some time in a skilled nursing facility where they are getting their therapies, or if they can go straight home if they meet criteria. We're taking them direct discharge from the hospital. But we get a lot of discharges from the skilled nursing facility.
You got a lot going on, Clayton.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
It's a busy operation.
It's incredible, all the services. Now, what if someone just needs driving assistance, grocery shopping, meal prep? Do you provide those services as well?
We absolutely do. And just to be very clear on that point, that's not something that Medicare is going to cover and provide. That is more of a cash paying service. But what we find is a lot of our patients have long-term care policies that are through their life insurance. And everyone should check their long-term care policy, but a lot of times you have long-term care benefits, or they call living benefits. So that covers our service.
Which is fantastic because, like I mentioned, my mom used your services. I think we even used your services for my dad. And they needed those driving services. They needed help with grocery shopping. They needed help. My dad couldn't put his socks on. Things like that he didn't qualify for. He didn't need the medical care, but he needed the help in day-to-day walking, going to Costco, going to the grocery store, even just getting out companionship. But they had a long-term care policy, and that's how we were able to not come out of their pocket, but offset some of their investment opportunities they did younger, took care of all county, which was fantastic.
Right.
And you guys did the direct billing too,
We
to
did.
the company. So my parents didn't have to deal with anything. It went, you guys took to them, and then you sent over services.
That is the beautiful part about being with
It
an
was
agency.
fabulous.
Yeah, you're licensed and bonded and insured, so it's always best to go through an agency.
And then if someone's sick, right, if your aide can't make it or you need extra care, the agency, all county, it's crucial because you always have a backup.
Right, we're a sister company in that respect, where it's all county private, all county healthcare through the Medicare skilled nursing service that we provide. So yeah, so if a patient's on service with us on the private side and we identify anything while we're in the home, we notify the team internally. Of course, the doctor and the patient, they have to make that decision and choose us. Everything is patient choice, but yes, we can service the patient.
Okay, private or Medicare side, can they still reach you at the same phone number?
They can get us at the same
And how
phone
would
number.
they even know? Or can they just call you and say, this is my situation, and then they get placed accordingly?
Yeah, if they get
Because who's going to know?
if they get any all-county team member on the phone, we'll give them a nice warm transfer over to the department that they need to be with.
All right, really great information. All right, always end every interview with a fun fact. Fun fact about you, Clayton.
Fun fact about me, I have published music on Spotify.
Wow,
So, little
look
band.
at his face. He's like, what?
A band that I do in part-time. I don't think a lot of people know that about me, so.
What do they find it? Clayton Williams, or what's the name of the band?
The name of the band is called Swevin. It's all instrumental music.
Oh, we got to check that out.
Yeah,
All right, Clayton Williams. Thank you so much for joining us.
thank you.
All
Appreciate
County
the time.
Healthcare, thank you for the opportunity always to host you and your doctor on Thursday nights. For more information, contact them directly. Visit their website at allcountyhealthcare.com, 954-717-7027. Clayton, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a
Check out
pleasure.
his music on Spotify. Give All County a call. We'll see you next week. Have a great evening, everybody.